Another day, another inspiring commentary on some of the latest NHL rumors, because we had ourselves some tweets from NHL Rumor Report, from NHL Watcher, that I thought were interesting enough to dive into here on the program. We got some updates from Elliotte Friedman via 32 Thoughts, and they all revolve around some of the unsigned NHL players of this year and next year. Let's open things up with this tweet posted by NHL Watcher. Elliotte Friedman on 32 Thoughts, the podcast, says, "There have been talks with Mason McTavish, Luke Hughes, and Luke Evangelista, but no movement." He mentions Vasily Podkolzin's extension with the Oilers, $2.95 million AAV, is probably a better comparison for Evangelista than the Predators. Now, I don't know how the tweet is worded at the end there. What does that mean? Podkolzin's extension with the Oilers is a better comp for Evangelista than the Predators. Evangelista's on the Predators. What exactly is this tweet trying to say? Anyways, by the way, Vasily Podkolzin, he ended up leaving the Oilers for a little bit because his father unexpectedly passed away the other day. Very unfortunate news. Very sorry to hear that for the Podkolzin family. Of course, this is all coming just a few days after Podkolzin got that pretty big extension with the Oilers, so very emotional swings up and down for the Podkolzin family, and we wish everybody peace and proper family time to recover from this loss. But speaking out about Mason McTavish, Luke Hughes, there have been talks, but no movement, and I think the way that all of these insiders are starting to talk about the situation with these top RFAs, Mason McTavish with Anaheim, of course, and then Luke Hughes with the New Jersey Devils, it's really starting to put a damp picture as to how things are going to start this upcoming campaign. It's starting to enter that maybe William Nylander territory from a few years ago, where Kyle Dubas unfortunately doomed the Toronto Maple Leafs into going down this treacherous path of having a core four where all of the guys were making a little bit too much money. Because Kyle Dubas acquiesced with Nylander all those years ago, he didn't want the guy to miss out the entire year. The Toronto Maple Leafs were doomed, because Nylander was the first domino to fall that inevitably made it okay for these younger guys on the team to get way too much money. And when it comes to Mason McTavish and Luke Hughes, I'm not saying necessarily that they're going to be greedy and demand Nylander-type money, but it seems like that type of a holdup can be in the cards here. It's totally not impossible for a similar situation to happen. And I just wonder how far the Anaheim Ducks and the New Jersey Devils are willing to take it if it does get to that point. If the players are like, okay, yeah, fine, I'm not going to sign with y'all. I'm not going to take your contract demands just so I can start the season. I'm going to hold out, and I'm not going to play up until December when you try to give me the amount of money that I want, and then I'll say yes at that point, and then I'll have a bad season because I'm going to have missed the first 2 months of the year. It's possible. I don't know if it's likely, but we'll see. Furthermore to that point, we had ourselves Elliotte speaking out about the Connor McDavid situation in Edmonton. McTavish, McDavid, it's our Mc update over here. Friedman says agents are hoping McDavid gets the max that he can get. Teams are hoping that he takes less. So if, for example, McDavid gets 15.5, teams can say, hey, no one is getting more than Connor McDavid. And I think that sort of internal subliminal cap had been a thing in the National Hockey League for quite a while. Connor McDavid's 12.5 was number one in the league for a long time, up until Nathan MacKinnon broke it by signing a 12.6. Once that went down, the floodgates opened and we started to see other centers get higher than 12.6. Austin Matthews ended up getting 13, Leon Draisaitl got 14. And then we had Kirill Kaprizov going out there and rejecting 16, which totally would have raised the stakes even further from Leon's number one 14 million AAV deal to 16. Bro. Now, we had this conversation in the past, but it's like, oh, does Kirill Kaprizov want even more than 16, or does he just want to get paid by a team that's not Minnesota? What's the rationale there? Is he willing to sign anything less? I think at this point, with Elliotte Friedman's mention of tampering yesterday, thinking about other teams around the National Hockey League potentially giving Kirill Kaprizov a $20 million AAV deal, if that becomes the cap and McDavid settles for 15.5, then I don't know what to think, man. Like, if McDavid sees Kaprizov get 20 at some point, he has all the right to ask for the same, if not even higher. The max that he can get under the allowable salary cap percentage numbers. It's well within McDavid's wheelhouse to get whatever it is Kaprizov gets. I wonder, if McDavid signed tomorrow, for example, for 15.5, do the Minnesota Wild look at Kaprizov and say, hey, wait a minute, we can't offer you 16. McDavid just got 15.5, so yada yada yada. Like, McDavid plays a premium position, he's a center, they're the same age, so I wonder how that goes into effect if McDavid's contract gets signed earlier. But that being said, though, we do have ourselves some word as to what McDavid's contract plans can look like. Regarding the McDavid extension timeline, Friedman said here he still thinks there's some hope out there that it'll happen before the season begins. So, yeah, we'll see. Regarding it, he said in the summer, I think people were saying it was going to be 16. It's going to be lower than we thought, Friedge says. Maybe that's why he tossed out the 15.5 number earlier in the program. With that in mind, though, we also do have some other names to talk about in regards to the free agent class. Friedman said in regards to Artemi Panarin that the New York Rangers approached him about taking less, like Kopitar did for the Kings. Obviously, that has not happened yet, and Panarin remains unsigned. Friedman doesn't know where it goes from here, or if that's a possibility that he ends up taking less. So, panic in New York, folks. Yet another NHL stud that is going out there and potentially demanding a little bit more than he's supposed to. Say what you want about Russian superstar wingers going out there and rejecting big dollar amount deals, but if this becomes the norm, I do wonder what the future has in store for both Panarin and Kaprizov, assuming they both kind of just wait it out and end up not signing with the teams that they're on at the moment. But yeah, it seems like things are kind of heating up with this free agency class to be. I know it was Pierre LeBrun who had an article earlier this morning on The Athletic talking about a bunch of these guys, not even just Panarin, Kaprizov, McDavid, but you also had discussions on Adrian Kempe and Cal Connor and a bunch of other names. There are a lot of talented guys that could be doing some very interesting things in the upcoming months here, and it's all because that salary cap has gone up. Because teams have more money to spend now, it's like, hey, wait a minute, my client is not going to settle for the dollar amount that he would have gotten if the flat cap was still in place here. Connor McDavid is not going to settle for 14. He's probably going to get a lot more. Kyle Connor, he's not going to settle for 9.5. He's not going to settle for 10. Mitch Marner just got 12. Why not get that amount of money? And then you have guys that are even a step above, like Kaprizov and Panarin. These guys could be getting like 15 or 16, or Kaprizov rejected 16, so maybe he goes higher. Maybe it's 20. Who knows, man? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about all these UFAs and the RFAs that we had talked about as well. Luke Hughes, Mctavish, Luke Evangelista, etc. Lots to talk about, and a debatable amount of panic amongst these NHL franchises. And I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you respond to all of it? If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you did not, then please hit that dislike button. Comments help us out with the algorithm as well, so I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.